On today's Buckeye Roast, the NCAA partners up with Venmo to combat player harassment, and we'll break down what that means in the NIL era. Caleb Downs launches a new podcast, and no, Ohio State did not ban Dave Portnoy. We'll clear the air on that one. Meanwhile, and Ryan Day meets with the media, Brian Hartline is headed to the coach's box this season. There's still no right tackle decision, though we know Phillip Daniels will play. And finally, Ryan Day's message is simple: just win, baby. That's what we'll be discussing. I'm Chris Drew, and this is the Buckeye Roast with Ron and Q right here on Dead Air Sports. Make sure you like and subscribe.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. We are back for another episode of the Buckeye Roast. It's your boy Ron James here with my guy, Smash That Like. Q, how you doing?
I'm good, man. So check the last couple days before the show. 50 over 50 likes in the last two episodes. We do one more, I get my name back. Who am I going to complain
about? Get your name back. We can take this stupid banner down. I'm going to run the ticker, but I can get rid of this one with this obnoxious red text that says Smash That Like, because for some reason our watchers, watch time, everything's growing except for the likes. If you're watching the video and you're staying long enough to run these watch hours up, you can at least like that video. It helps us a ton. It costs you nothing. But Q, I normally have a stat for you or a trivia question. Today, neither. Switching it up. I've had a question that I've been waiting to ask you all day. I would normally just text you and talk to you about it at some point during the day, but I've been saving it for the show. So Q,
I'm ready.
Are scrambled eggs fried chicken?
Oh, boy. That's the most dad joke of
I figured a breakfast joke for the morning roast is fitting. ChatGPT has been giving me awful stats to look up. For like stat of the day every day. They keep wanting to tell me about Ohio State's home opener record, or like just basic stuff that we've stated a million times. So I was like, you know what? I laughed out loud when I saw that, and I was like, I'm saving that for the show for Q.
Well, clearly, once we get to our athletic feats section somewhere down the road, we'll have plenty enough to go around, because that was a fun off-the-show segment we did yesterday.
I feel like the shows have been completely off the rails lately. I was talking to Q about the show, and I was like, when we pre-record, I'm not watching the chat, so I don't get distracted and completely get derailed and just start yelling at people. So we just actually write a show and do a show, so it's much more lighthearted because we have fun doing the show, and I'm not getting mad yelling at people saying crazy stuff in the chat. Like, I love getting to talk to our viewers that actually support us, but man, there's a lot of trolls in there sometimes.
Yeah, please watch and subscribe so I can yell at you on a daily basis. Whatever you say. And also like when you're done.
Exactly. Like that video. Q, there was a lot of arguments in the comments. I mean, we've had no shortage of comments lately, but I went to go screenshot them for the show today, and it was literally just Texas fans calling us soft, and Michigan fans calling us soft, and Ohio State fans saying, no, we're not. And I was like, that's not really that compelling of conversation this morning. Everybody is pretty hostile with the start of college football. Just 3 days away, 2 days probably by the time you hear this. I don't know. I'm completely lost on what day of the week it is at this point. But football gets played soon. Q, I wanted to ask you about this Texas game coming up. Obviously, the biggest thing on every Ohio State fan's mind, and a narrative that I keep hearing, is the potential of a rivalry brewing. And we've been debating for a decade now, is Penn State a rival? They say they're unrivaled. Ohio State fans don't claim them. It is the schedule, I would say, for probably the last, before this losing streak against Michigan, it was the game that every Buckeye fan had circled every year as the matchup that you knew, while we were going to beat them, knock on wood, that it was going to be a close and exciting game. A team that never really just laid down for the Buckeyes. Now the Buckeyes have had, this will be after next year's home and home, 7 games with the Texas Longhorns in the last 25 years. Do we have the potential for a mini rivalry, or is it everybody just getting caught up in the moment because we're going to play 3 times in 3 years? If not more.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit more of caught up in the moment. Now, the one big thing, and obviously we played Texas over the years. I think they've all been pretty much good games. I think the only one that really wasn't was that time we traveled to Texas, and obviously they were coming off a loaded national championship team and had to reload. So they might have been a little bit down that year. But I mean, it's been good games all the way through. But I think the important thing, especially when you're not playing somebody constantly, obviously we might see them at the end of the year and it could just be 2 good teams, is you need that level of controversy, like that little extra jabs, that little extra dislike. I think with the Clemson thing, and obviously we had played Clemson, we had lost a close game to it. It really wasn't a rival then until we went back and played them again, and you felt like Ohio State got absolutely hosed in that game. And then we had a lot of all-season trash talk, and then we went back and we had circled Clemson on the calendar like, oh, if we see them again, then Dabo comes out, oh, they shouldn't even be in the playoffs. They're not even a top 10 team. Add a little bit to the fire. Then we blow them out. Then we were in full rivalry mode of like, even now, Ohio State fans don't want to see Clemson win, and we don't even play them. We probably will not even see them on the schedule, and we do not want them to do well. So I think Ohio State, Texas is probably the Bama, Georgia of 2 really good teams that just happen to play a good amount, especially with a 12-team playoff. But if we get that little bit of controversy, maybe, Sark doesn't like something Ryan Day says, or I don't know, maybe Colin Simmons talks a little more on Saturday than he did in his Instagram post. You need that little bit of flicker just to hit. I feel like we were close to one with Oklahoma, that we just didn't see them again, especially with the flag planting, but we didn't see them again. So I think that level of controversy is something that's missing to actually make this a rivalry.
See, but I think the potential for controversy, given the stakes of this matchup, the potential to see each other again later this season, both of these programs our organization, their program, commitment to spending, it seems like both of these teams are poised to be at the top of the sport for the next decade. Is Texas officially back? Like, if Texas is back and the Buckeyes are who the Buckeyes are, you would expect them, even after this home and home, to see each other more often in the coming years. So initially, when I first heard the idea of, is there a rivalry brewing? I thought, no, like, we're going to play them this year and play them next year and then just go on about doing our thing in the Big Ten in our non-conference, and this whole Texas thing will be behind us. But then the idea of potentially seeing them and stacking history based on the recent playoff history, the potential future playoff history of what we could see in the next year, too. I mean, Julian Sayin and Arch Manning both look to potentially be in college football for the next 2 years. We could be adding multiple games to this rivalry in the next 5 years that aren't even on the schedule yet. So just for that fact alone, how I feel about both of these programs and their current trajectory, it seems like we're poised to see each other a lot more often going forward.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. And obviously, the more times you play, the more potential it sets up to become a rivalry. I just think.
And especially the fact that after the home and home, the stakes for every meeting are going to be sky high because we're only going to be seeing each other in the playoffs. So I feel like that escalates the history between the 2 teams.
Yeah, I think at some point, either someone has to say something or someone has to feel shorted. I mean, you think when like Garrett Wilson was here and he was like, why would I go to Texas? They don't really develop receivers. I'm going to Ohio State. Like, that is something to trigger point of like, if they had played Texas, then, somebody at Texas may have been like, oh, you want to come here, huh? All right, we'll see you on the field. And it could trickle down. So I feel like Ohio State and Texas, while having close, hard battles on the field, have been very respectful of each other. To this point, on a fan basis, we gonna argue with whoever. Like, you know how that goes. We've been in Texas spaces before, and they've been in our spaces before, and that's a little different. So that's maybe why the fans feel that way. But you need somebody to light that match on the field. Something's got to happen. So
maybe they just need to listen to Spaces, because that match was lit for me the other day. I had to call Cam fuming during the middle of the day because I was like, bro, I was just in a Texas space and someone said we're gonna lose by double digits, and I was hot. Like, I was like pacing my house like, I haven't been in spaces. Is this how the streets are talking about us? They think we're about to go and lose at home by double digits? I just find that so hard to believe. And if the way people are talking right now, Q, I don't know, man. I don't know how many more matchups these fan bases could handle before this does boil into a rivalry.
Yeah, I would say if I would pick another team who's not a traditional rival, and this is a little bit cheating because we are guaranteed almost to see them every year, if not more than once a year. The stuff that goes on with Oregon is, for me, a lot closer there because you think about it, Oregon left the duck on the field in Columbus. We had that happen. Next thing you know, we go out to Oregon, we play, great game. Ohio State feels like they're cheated at the end because of not having enough time to keep the field goal. We felt like Will Howard slid in time, and we're like, he probably should have been another second on the clock.
The awful pass interference on JJ.
Yeah, and then we have who's the safety that just got hurt from Ohio that plays at Oregon. I just forgot his name. Good Lord.
Trey McNutt.
Trey McNutt. Then you got Trey McNutt come out talk about
Brew.
Yeah, BIA. Yeah, we have all those. Yeah, all for
Jeremiah McClellan.
So you have a lot of it just stirring up. I mean, he was stirring it up a little bit. Then you have Ohio State go in the playoffs and absolutely dismantle them.
Hit on us.
Yeah, and you're talking about Dan Lanning now losing his mind. He hasn't been the same since. Like that has a lot of things stirring up to like, okay, we're gonna get at some point on the field when we see them next time, where guys probably really are starting not to like each other, and that is like we've had enough controversy for the match to get lit, and now for the next big thing to happen to be a full blown rival.
I feel like this is teasing a topic that we have later at the end of the show, but it feels like Ohio State is taking on my favorite moniker, everyone's favorite op. And maybe it's not rivalries. The Buckeyes are just moving into new territory within the sport. But Q, this was a way longer opening than we normally do because we didn't have comments, and I snuck a topic to replace comments in the early portion of the show, the A block, and we actually went a little bit longer, but we got plenty to get to.
Yeah, solid writing by Ron. That was a great topic, but hey, man, play the music. Let's get to the show.
Appreciate everybody tuning in. Make sure you smash that like button. A little peek behind the curtain. Q and I use a share drive that we just randomly throw topics in throughout the day as we build the show. And there's times where I see topics from Q where I'm like, I'm not even going to research this because I want to know what he knows about this. I look at the note and I see this story and I'm just going to read what it says. The NCAA and Venmo partners to combat college football player harassment. And I was like, you know what? No spoilers. Q, what do you have on this?
So I thought this was a solid little mini topic because we all talked about what CJ Stroud went through at Ohio State. So I go on 3 and I see what's happening in the news. They talk about the NCAA's partner with Venmo to cut down on player harassment. Basically, you paying players $1.50 or whatever to tell them how terrible they were on Saturdays, and the NCAA said, all right, we need to cut down on that. I had to verify if it was real. On 3 had it, so this seems to be somewhat actually happening. I just thought it was funny to ask you how funny is that the NCAA is like, okay, not paying these guys to criticism.
You know what they should do? They should route all of the negative payments to me. If you're, you know what I mean? Like, you know how like you can forward an email to a different one. Like, I need everybody's hate. I'll read them all. Say whatever you want. Your quarterback sucks. Tell Ron he sucks, but make sure you send $5 with it.
I knew it was gonna.
Q, it's been 3 years we've been reading hate comments, and we don't make no money off this shit. At least pay me. Like, if someone's gonna tell me I suck, I'll take $5.
Yeah, I knew it was going to end up going there, especially with the platform we deal with. Some comments that just don't like you just because you're you. So I will say, certainly, if you want to tell me I suck on a daily basis, go to send $5 over to my Venmo, and I will be a happier person with my free tea or coffee as I decide. But no, I just thought it was pretty funny, and it was a little bit of a flashback to what CJ Stroud was dealing with the second overall pick. CJ, you did sucked on Saturday. That's why we lost to Oregon. Get it together. Also, here's $4. I just think it's
honestly, if I'm the player, I'm like, I don't even need a filter on it. I don't need a filter on any text. Just make it on the amount. $200. Say whatever the fuck you want. But any of those other transactions that are hateful under 200, block them.
Bro, basically every celebrity / streamer that people know and really dislike should just have a Venmo and be like, yo, this is my Venmo. Please feel free to cuss me out and I can have another income source. Like, I would do it. I'd be like, oh, you fucking sucked playing John Wick. Okay, well, my Venmo is at Keanu Reeves 7. So go
it's like being the digital carnival clown. Like you're sitting up on the water dunk tank. Like say whatever you want, throw as many as you want at me. As long as you're paying to play, I'll drop down into this water as many times as you hit that thing. Like I don't care.
No, I thought it was a fun story, but it is true. So if you are out there in the Ohio State fan base and you're waiting for Julian Sayin to throw a pick, if
Julian Sayin throws a pick this weekend, you tell me how mad you are at him by hitting @DeadAirSports on Venmo.
Oh shit! But I thought it was a fun topic. But that's really all I had on it. But
there's go ahead.
I'll say one thing I do have that I wanted to ask you about. We are in the podcasting game, Ron. I actually don't know how many podcasts you really listen to because you spend so much time working on this one. So make sure you smash that like. But Caleb Downs and his brother called the Downs 2 podcast or something like that. He's coming out with a podcast, and Ryan Day will be a special guest on there, I think, in the first episode. So I want to ask you, Caleb Downs with a podcast, will you watch? And do you think this is something more college athletes should have?
I thought you were going to ask, would I be on the show if he asked me? And the answer was, of course.
Ask real questions, not beat questions.
If I'm being completely honest, probably not. No. I consume an insane amount of content throughout the day as far as sports like just my own general interest of shows that I just enjoy watching. I watch our show every day. I'm constantly cutting that up. I consume almost everything on the Ohio State beat. I watch all the interviews. Not during the season. Maybe during the off season, I'll definitely catch the clips on the timeline. But there are so many sources of content out there. I don't know if it's gonna crack the rotation. What about you?
Depending on the guest. I actually listened to the G. Scott podcast last year, and I actually thought some episodes were really good. He had you were
telling me when I was at the Ryan Day luncheon, I said that they were reading the book Carry Water, Chop Wood, and you said that, or Chop Wood, Carry Water, whatever the name of the book is. Yeah. You were telling me that G. Scott had read that and was talking about it on his podcast last year.
Yeah, chop, carry, wood, water.
How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck was a buck? I don't know.
But he did have a good couple episodes on there. One with about real estate that I thought was really, really insightful. So I will check it out depending on the guest. I like to see different voices, and you know what I like to also see? I like to also see who's actually good at delivering content, because everybody thinks, and Angel Reese had a podcast where she was the A-Mic, and I was like, you need somebody to host this because you are not a host at all. Like, you need help. Please call me.
And here's my thing, as like, I don't care if Caleb Downs is the worst podcaster in the world. Like, I'll hit the like button anytime it pops up on my feed. I'll throw it a retweet as long as he's balling.
Yeah, gotta get on that NIL money somehow. So we'll hit that like and retweet. But I love to see who's actually good and delivering good content. So I'll check out depending on the guest.
Yeah, be sure to check that out. Q, you're so interested in it. Can you get the name of the podcast right for the listeners before we move to the next topic?
You can make me look it up. It's I think it's Downs to Downs. But, you know what? Ron, tell a joke, and I will go figure out which podcast this is. It'll take me 2 seconds. I think it's Downs to
the beginning of the show.
Hold on. Here we go. Wait, nope.
Down to Down would be my guess.
Downs to Business. That's the name of the podcast.
Not for long. I would imagine they're going to change it and find a better title here soon.
Down to
Downs to business. Oh, okay. All right. Downs to. They're getting down to business. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe. I got it.
Just would have asked. So that is the name of the podcast. Downs to business, and Ryan Day is a guaranteed guest.
I see. I wasn't feeling the title at first. I kind of like it. I didn't get it at first. I was like, all right, they're getting down to business. All right, they got me. They got me.
Down to down.
I thought it was down to down, like, you know what I mean, like play to play type thing.
That's not bad.
See, that's what I'm saying. Call me.
deadairsports@gmail.com.
That's what I'm saying. Like maybe they need a second pod, down to down on Dead Air Sports. Maybe
talk business on this one. Follow this one.
But until then, we're gonna be stuck talking about Q. This is like going, we're going to have to like create a fine jar on the show for topics that like once the season starts, I am done talking about. And recruiting has already made it there. Like I'm done with it. Another topic approaching that list is Dave Portnoy. We have to update the story from yesterday because with us pre-recording at like in the middle of the night and stories like breaking at the end of the night and then completely being recanted the following day and changing, not helpful for a show recorded at 1 a.m. that comes out at 8 a.m. So Q, Dave Portnoy, not banned by Ohio State, but not allowed in state. Well, not even not allowed, not going to be in stadiums for the halftime and post game for the Big Noon kickoff.
Yeah, so apparently Ross Bjork didn't come out and put his nuts on the table and say he's not coming here. It was more of a Fox not handing out enough badges thing and saying, hey, you're not going to be a part of this. But Portnoy has come out and doubled down. He hasn't yet said Ohio State didn't ban me. He came out and said, oh, yeah, I'm not going to be there. They're not letting Barstool on, all of that. So could be a little beef.
We did have that right yesterday. I did tell you that Barstool would not be there.
Yeah, so could be a little beef, could be a little drama. I mean, obviously, it's Portnoy and he is in the entertainment industry. So, yeah, I mean, I kind of get it. He's more the entertainment factor. Why does he need to be breaking down the game at halftime?
Is he an entertainment factor, Q? Like, I want to know what the conversations at Fox Studios was like. You know what? We need to improve this broadcast. Who should we get? And someone raised their hands and was like, I know this guy that reviews pizzas on the internet. Like, let's have this dude with no athletic ability come on here and talk football and troll everybody. Why?
Yeah, I mean, I get why they're bringing Portnoy on there, and it is not because of football, because of the entertainment factor. Clearly, he has a following at Barstool. Clearly, he knows how to build platforms and make entertaining shows or no one would ever watch, and that platform would have failed a long time ago. Now, I feel like he's the guy that when you're hosting a football show, if you're trying to give away a scholarship or have a dude try to make a 50-yard field goal, he's that guy. He's the guy who's going to bring him up there and say, hey,
is he?
That's
like, I feel like he's the guy that's like gonna try pizza in the crowd.
That's not a role in the pregame show.
It's almost like you're getting my point. There is no role for Dave Portnoy on Big Noon Kickoff. Like you're getting it.
Always somebody who doesn't know ball that handles the entertainment factor on these shows. Like there's always that guy,
Desmond Howard.
Yeah, but he's the Desmond Howard of Fox. It's fine, except Desmond Howard's allowed to get football takes, which he shouldn't. So, I mean, I get the purpose of seeing him up there, but does he need to be breaking down the pregame and halftime stuff and actually talking football? No. So I get why Fox is saying, yeah, you're not actually going to be on the field. But, you know, like I said, buy a ticket. Even Connor Stallions tweeted, he said, hey, you need a ticket? We could both try to get in there and see what happens. So,
again, like another name on the fine list that I'm so sick of hearing. Like everybody's like, no funny. No, like not seeing him on my timeline, never funny.
So we will see, but he's not banned. He's just not welcome.
Well, Ohio State issued an official statement in regards to this situation. Ohio State Well, they said Ohio State routinely holds planning meetings with media partners and provides input regarding broadcast setup, kickoff times, and other matters. During planning meetings with Fox regarding Big Noon Kickoff's visit to campus this week, Fox representatives informed the department that the only talent who would be inside Ohio Stadium for the last hour of the show would be their main set/desk talent team. This group comprises their halftime and post-game shows as well. They informed us that David Portnoy is not part of their, quote, main desk crew. Ohio State did not ban anyone from our stadium.
Well,
Are you buying or selling it, Q?
I mean, I'm buying it. He's not part of, I just told you what he's going to do. He's not part of the main crew. He's there they'll give away $50,000 checks to students who can nail 50-yard field goals. That's his job.
I guess so. Well, at least Ohio State's in the clear. Dave Portnoy gets 1 million clicks off of this. Our timeline is polluted with nonsense for a week, but hopefully, like Q, Saturday is going to be such a savior of like filtering out all the nonsense. All the teams that suck, all their fans have to shut up until football's done being played. All of these summer bullshit get click stories to get you through the week are over. We can talk about football. We are so close.
You're telling me you don't want to hear how Marv had a disappointing rookie season, so he just did bicep curls all summer and no football work.
No, Q. I want to talk about the top 10 games of week 1. We have done upset alerts. We have done the game that we are most excited about. The College Football Report put out this awesome graphic. I normally don't shout out people whose graphics we just steal on the show, but this one, legit, I rock with it. And look at that, Q, a watermark. So shout out the College Football Report for this sick graphic. And Q, I think they might watch the show because, I mean, while these are all marquee matchups, there's some matchups that we talked about that might not be on everybody's radar that we put on our upset alert. And I just put this graphic on the screen to validate what we talked about the other day. When you see games like Nebraska, Cincinnati, Colorado, Georgia Tech, Auburn, Baylor, you had LSU. I mean, obviously LSU Clemson's a massive game, but Q, this is an amazing slate of college football. And I just can't believe you're going to decide to get drunk in the streets of Arizona instead of watching any of this.
I'm watching all of it, all the games simultaneously, all the TVs. I'm gonna look like an evil villain in a lair with just TVs surrounding me with different games on there as I partake. No, it's a big time weekend of college football. I mean, I think I talked about on minutes earlier, like how many times in one weekend have you had 3 top 10 matchups in the first week? Like it's kind of insane. Usually you'll have one, but now you have 3. So even if one doesn't live up to the hype, you need at least have another 2 that will. I think it's a big time weekend. I mean, we didn't even talk about this game, TCU and North Carolina. Bill Belichick, Big Bill out of college football playing TCU.
Big Bill is crazy, bro.
You know his girl calls him Big Bill, man.
I don't know that. I don't know how you know that either.
It's a wild guess. But yeah, they're playing TCU. Also played Dion his first game. So I mean, it's a first good look at him. Boise State obviously trying to get back to the playoffs. We'll see how they are this year without their top 5 NFL pick. So I mean, this is a great slate, man. And again, it runs from Thursday through Sunday, like Miami, Notre Dame on Sunday. So you're gonna have your fill of college football.
You mentioned Boise State, and seeing that game there kind of pissed me off. Watching Boise State is never appealing to me. And USF, like, what are we talking about? Like, there's no way that is one of the top 10 games. So Q, I'm going to offer a few games that I think could potentially replace that as one of the top 10 games in college football week 1.
I'll put out my gladiator thumb to let you know if you're right or wrong.
How about Tennessee, Syracuse?
Ding.
All right. I also offer up. I had another good one here. Where are we at? This is not good. This This is not good podcasting because I'm scrolling through a giant list of games because I can't remember the one that I just looked at. Another one. UCLA, Utah. Utah, potential Big 12 winner. UCLA, Nico is now there. You got all of the offseason drama and storylines going into that game and a potential conference contender. I'd argue that one could also be slotted in as one of the top 10 games of the weekend.
I mean, I would argue on your side of those two games that probably have more interest. I don't know how good USF would be. I'm interested to see how good Boise State is this year without a top 5 running back. If they can somewhat replicate it, but I would definitely watch those two games first. I think Tennessee, Syracuse, I'm definitely looking to see this quarterback swap, seeing if them letting Nico go was the right decision, which it was, if you're making a logical decision. But Tennessee trying to bounce back and get back to the playoffs. And then UCLA, what are they going to be? We know what Utah is, but they're going to be good. They're going to play good defense. I'm going to be a solid football team. So I would expect Utah is quite a favorite in that game. But what can Nico do and who's he throwing to out there is a good question. So I'm interested in both of those games, and I would take those before Boise State.
I would also make one other argument that you could also slot in any game with a superstar quarterback or alleged superstar quarterback making their first start of the season this year in the likes of a DJ Lagway or anyone of that mold of we're seeing these guys for the first time. I'm excited to just watch the quarterback, and I'd rather sit down and just watch a 5-star go crazy against a directional school from Kansas. I would argue that would also be more interesting than Boise State.
That's it. Get Las Vegas Community College. I got you. Well, you throw Bryce Underwood in there at the top op. We've never seen anything like him before, so interested to see what
allegedly.
He does. Yeah. so he says. So it's a good slate for college football. I'm just happy college football is back. I love that they spread it out the schedule. So if you're on Thursday and you're like, I don't have to wait anymore. This show debuts on Wednesday. So if you're just cracking and breaking I need college football, it starts tomorrow. So you should be happy with that. But man, I cannot wait. I mean, 9 a.m. here to however late at night the games are going to go and then go out after. I'm happy.
Pretending like you're not going to go out after is probably the funniest joke of the entire show. Q. I've been putting this off for a while now, but I have to address the elephant in the room.
That would be
the allegations were absolutely true. Ryan Day was dyeing his hair. I've seen him in the interviews. He's looking a little salt and peppery in the beard, his hair. I have been a Ryan Day does not dye his beard or hair defender now for a solid 5 years.
Did he even?
I think he won a national championship and said, "F everybody, I'm not dyeing my damn hair anymore."
Well, definitely, his beard was jet black. It looked like my microphone. This was his beard. So
he had the Carlos Boozer.
One of the worst hair pieces of all time when he just painted his scalp black. That did there was hair there. Jesus Christ. But okay, I didn't know that was the topic we were going to discuss. But hey,
that's why CQ. This is my new favorite thing by putting essentially a placeholder in the show note, but not telling you what it is. All I put in the note was elephant in the room.
I was like, okay, yes, I've been putting on a little weight. I apologize. Oh man, but that's too funny. Hey man, when you win a natty, who cares if you're a little gray? It don't matter. My thing is, hey,
I feel like he's like Adam Sandler. I got this much money, I'm gonna wear fucking basketball shorts to the Oscars because who's gonna say something? I got a natty.
You got gray hair than no hair. I'll say I'll keep my hair. If it's gray, it's gray.
Bro, if I had a full head of gray hair under this hat, I would not have a hat on. I'd be dyeing my hair like Ryan Day.
Full mohawk. Just showing off all the things you can do with your hair because you still have it.
Oh, man. Well, we had to address it. I do have some more football topics to address. Some NFL updates from Buckeyes in the league. First-year Buckeyes. people that actually talk about football for a living would call them rookies. Cal McCord cut from the Eagles. G. Scott cut from the Patriots. Seth also cut. Justin and Q. Look at the note. I almost did it. I almost did it. I said Josh Fryer makes the Cardinals team because offensive line coach, former offensive line coach at Ohio State, Justin Fry, is the new coach there. And I said it is now someone else's responsibility to deal with that confusion of Justin Fry and Josh Fryer. It was probably the biggest verbal hurdle that we had all last season, at least for me, on every platform that I discussed Ohio State, fumbling that combination of Justin Fry, Josh Fryer. Good luck to everyone in Arizona that gets to deal with that for eternity.
Yeah, well, we'll hold it down. No, it's definitely been a lot of confusion. I mean, I look at it. I mean, yeah, G. Scott, I get it. I didn't know if Kyle McCord, especially the way he was playing out at Pittsburgh, just throwing the ball all over the place, was actually going to translate to the NFL. Seth McLaughlin, I am surprised. If you had told me that at the end of last year, I guess, or before Seth McLaughlin got hurt, that he would not make an NFL roster and Josh Fryer would, I mean, I would have put my house on a bet against you. But clearly he did. So shout out to Josh Fryer making the roster here. He's down the street, so I may be able to catch a game and check him out. Let me see if my company will cough up some tickets.
I'm almost positive he has seen the show and the way that we have discussed him and is not a fan of either of us.
But don't worry.
I had to guess.
Don't worry, because I'll be the nosebleeds and he'll never know I'm there. So
regardless, he can hate us. And this is the thing that I always say. Even when we criticize players, like, they can be as mad as they want. Still rooting for you.
I'll still pat you on the back when you do good. So
exactly. Still pulling for you. Super excited for Josh Fryer, not Justin Fry. Super excited for Josh Fryer and excited to see him make the 53-man roster. And I think the Arizona Cardinals, if they didn't have a terrorist at quarterback, would be my backup NFL team that I supported with as many Buckeyes they have on it. But I can't subject myself to watching Kyler Murray destroy Marvin Harrison Jr.'s career.
You know what I actually thought about? Maybe I'll ask this on Friday when we have a chat, but I'm thinking about still saving for Friday, but who is your backup team? If Ohio State's not playing, who else are you going to watch? Who else are you going to cheer for in college football? Don't answer that now. We'll save it for Friday when we have the live show.
Oh, okay. I know who my team is. It's the team that I've been backup cheering for my entire life. So that will be an easy one. Q, Ryan Day talked to the media yesterday. Had a lot to say.
What did he speak on?
The biggest topic, something that we've probably discussed on 4 shows so far this year, the discussion of who's poor lazy production. Q. I tried. We talked before the show about did I have any clips for the show, and I did have one, but there was another one that I forgot to download for you, and I was going to make a movie reference of what's in the box. Because Ohio State's offseason, everyone's been asking who's going to be in the box with Brian Hartline, and Ryan Day confirms that Brian Hartline will be calling plays as Ohio State's offensive coordinator from the box this year. Q, your thoughts there?
Well, see, I got that movie reference. Well, more relevant. I'm right on top of that one. Apologize.
Well, by looking at our YouTube metrics, I would imagine most of our audience got our reference to 7 because that's about the age range of everybody watching the show. We appreciate all of you out there.
Yeah, that's very true. R.I.P. R.I.P. Gwyneth. But yeah, so Hartline's in the box. I said yesterday, Hartline does not seem like a box guy. I didn't know if you would go in the box to see the field, but I will ask this question in follow-up. Do you think that helps receiver play, or do you think that hurts receiver play? Because this is the first time Hartline has been here, and he has not been on the field.
I think it helps receiver play because that elevates the responsibility of Devin Jordan as the next man up as far as being responsible for the wide receivers on game day. And I feel like that develops the Ohio State staff. And that's another person that's now taking on a larger responsibility at Ohio State and just continues to make what I believe the best coaching staff in all of college football even better.
Yeah, I wonder if Hartline, I wonder if Ennis, Jeremiah Smith-Carlton is going to run on the field, and Hartline's going to be like, all right, no one else. I'll be in the box. I'll catch you later. Now the biggest question is, does Devin Jordan rotate his wide receiver?
Well, that's the thing with Hartline up in the box. Is he going to take the rest of the wide receiver room other than the three on the field up there with him? Like, just to make sure you guys don't get any funny ideas about putting them on the field. I know Zach tells the story about Michael Thomas's freshman year and Urban telling him, you better not put him on the field. Like, don't you dare. I feel like that's Hartline screaming on the headset. Ryan Day had a funny moment during his press conference where it's always funny to hear Ryan Day talk about his time with Urban, because obviously anyone that's watching this program knows Ohio State in and out and how different of people Ryan Day and Urban Meyer are. But to know that they had to work together and we're successful together, it's always just funny knowing the type of person that Ryan is and knowing the insane person that Urban is. And in Ryan talking about his time on the headset and how heated things can get sometimes. And he was like, even when they Stephen Means asked a great question about his time as a play caller and his first time calling plays and how he handles times when there's conflict between the head coach and the play caller. And Ryan said, you have to have conviction in what you're calling as an offensive coordinator and have that pushback. And that's the type of confidence that he had in his play calling when Urban would push back against him. But he also did know he does still have veto power.
Yeah, I mean, that is very true. It's going to be interesting to see what happens on Saturday. I was going to make a joke. I wonder if Hartline has like a poster board of Jeremiah Smith and be like, you must be this tall to ride. Yeah, ain't none of us playing, boys. But yeah, I'm interested to see. Like, the biggest thing on Saturday with both new coordinators is the play calling. We want to see if Hartline is actually calling the plays. Are we actually pass happy, or do you feel like you're going to see because we all know at this point what the Ryan Day offense looked like outside of when we played Georgia. He went absolutely crazy, and it was just like, okay, who is this guy? Because I haven't seen him this aggressive and expansive on offense. So you'll be interested to see, but Hartline in the box tells you this is a good sign. This tells you he's giving Hartline some pretty good trust here to be the eyes in the sky to see the field. And if he's actually going to call plays, that's where we would have to do it from.
This feels like, too, like, in high school when you would get like the summer assignments to do, like if you had to read a book over summer or do a packet worth of work before you went back to school the following year. You could get all the help you wanted at home. You could Google answers. You could have your parents help. You could ask your cousin. They could help you with all the work. And then you finally got to get there and take the test and eventually fail it. But you're able to pad your grade in the beginning because you had all that help. And I'm wondering, do we have enough cushion and lead up to this game that Ryan Day going to be able to cook the meal and just have Brian Hartline walk it out?
I mean, unless Hartline is much, much better than we think he is, I would say no. He's definitely going to need Ryan Day is definitely going to have to be heavily involved. I mean, Texas is one of the best.
No, that's what I'm saying. Is Ryan Day going to be able to do almost everything behind the scenes because there's so much preparation that Ryan Day has been able to hold his hand the entire way leading up to this game, that it's not like he's just going out there and flying solo. Ryan Day's had 9 months to prepare for this game. So even if Ryan Day's not technically calling his plays, I would imagine his fingerprints are all over this game plan.
I agree to that portion. What I'm saying is when like the actual chess match starts and you have Texas, I forget his name, but their defensive coordinator who's really good, like starting to change things up, and Ohio State has to adjust to that. Like, do you have the faith in Brian Hartline to go to toe-to-toe one of the best coordinators in the game and say, okay, now I'm in this chess match with Texas defense who found a way to ice Jeremiah Smith out the game? We had Chip Kelly in the box. Like, I'm saying, like, I
hope he turns into me playing 2K when I start losing. I just start spamming my best player until I come back. And if he does that with Jeremiah, I think we're going to be fine. Like, are we in, like, don't crash the Lamborghini mode, or do you feel like the stakes are higher than that?
I feel like this is the first outing when your dad first gets the Lambo and you're riding with him and he's like, yo, like this is how you turn, like this is how you shift the gears, this is how you do that. Then as soon as we drive past Texas, then he parks, it's like, okay, you take it from here. Grambling State. Like I feel like this is that level of Lamborghini, like, oh, we're riding this together. Let me just show you how everything works first. And now, okay, now we're in a parking lot. Go for it. Like, that's what it feels like. I mean, oh yeah, this is going to be one of the tough games to start, especially your play calling with. You don't even have a flow going into here, and really, this is Hartline's really first crack at it. So this is a solid mismatch on the Texas side. Unless Hartline is just way better than we think he is, but seeing that the fact we had to bring in Chip Kelly last season, I'd say Hartline still has a ways to go. So this might be you're in the Lamborghini, you'll get to drive it in an hour.
When you rent the jet skis and they waste the first 10 minutes of your rental going over all the safety precautions. It's like, my life vest is on already. Come on.
It'll be interesting to see, man, but that's where I'd say it would be.
Ryan Day had no news in regards to updates had no updates in regards to the right tackle position. Says Daniels will play. I would imagine he's going to be rotating with Ethan. Q, any concerns that this hasn't been settled before the start of the season, especially given the matchup week 1? It's not like they're not going out there against one of the top edge rushers in the country.
I mean, yeah, tackles rotating is a bit of a question, but my question to you is this. He said Daniels will play. He talked about Ethan. Do you think this okay, this is me like looking through. This is a little theory. I think Daniels is going to start. I think he is just because he mentioned him by name. I think he's your right tackle here. And I think if you're going to see Ethan play, they've talked about him being tackle. They talked about him being guard. I think he may slide down because I don't think you want to rotate unless Philip Daniels comes out and is absolutely horrible. And it's like, okay, he can't play. Ethan, you're in, or somebody else, or, Sarah Bell's like, okay, now you're in. I don't think they rotate tackles. Like that would be kind of crazy. But you can rotate guards because they're more in the run game. So I think Ethan was probably going to be seeing some time at guard more so than seeing some time at tackle.
Yeah, I feel like there might just be a short leash on both of them, and they're going to ride the hot hand. I feel like Ryan Day's looking to learn a ton this week, given all of the young talent. And he even mentioned that with the running back room. He said all 3 backs are going to play, and ball security is imperative. So when you think about that room, the rotation at tackle, I feel like a lot of people are going to get a lot of opportunity, but they're all going to have a short leash because Ryan Day has had a common theme all throughout this interview that we'll get into later. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of guys are going to get an opportunity, but they better make the most of it, especially given the stakes this week.
Yeah, I don't really know if that's the best way to go into a game. I mean, you want guys to go play fast, play free. If you make a mistake, it's fine. Like, make up for it. It sounds like they got the stat board up, and if you go under 5 yards of carry, guess what? You are now ineligible to play. Next guy up. So we will see how that goes. But I agree with you. It does sound like a lot of guys are going to get the opportunity, and against Texas, I don't know if that's the best thing, but let's hope the guys show up on the field and play well on Saturday. We're just saying, we're loaded. We got a bunch of players who can play.
Yeah, Q, I got some bad news.
All right, what's the news?
Ohio State has a special teams coordinator, and it's not me.
Well, unfortunate. Continue.
Well, I would imagine he was busy this week because Ryan Day confirmed that Jaden Fielding and why am I blanking on the punter's first name? Yeah. What is his first name?
Is it Sam? No, I don't think it's Sam.
No.
I'm going to screw it up.
Guess. I'm going to give you 3 guesses. It's a pretty easy name. 3 guesses,
Jake?
Q. All the names in the world. I'll give you a hint. It's not Muhammad. Rules out a lot of people.
Jake? I don't think it was
You're close. You're close.
Am I close? John?
Yeah. You're almost on fire.
James?
No, it's Joe McGuire.
Oh, come on.
Joe McGuire wins the punting battle, beats out Nick McLarty, a name that everybody's familiar with. Everybody's been raving about this kid since they saw him punt a ball out of the stadium in Australia. I believe.
Yeah.
And he has not been able to secure the job here at Ohio State. Jaden Fielding, awful misses against Michigan last year, but redeems himself with a great playoff run, clean of misses for the most part. I think he might have had one miss in the playoff run, irrelevant one. I don't even want to put it on him. I'd rather be wrong saying that he was perfect in the playoff than give him one miss if he actually was perfect. So, according to the Buckeye Rose, my personal record book, Jaden Fielding was perfect throughout the playoffs. I'm excited to see him. I feel like it showed a lot of resilience to bounce back given his performance at Michigan and the way that he rebounded in the playoffs and was able to come out and perform. I've been very critical of the special teams for the past 3 years publicly, Jaden Fielding included. And like I said, anytime I criticize a performance, I'm more than happy to be wrong or you to go out there and prove me wrong, because at the end of the day, I'm rooting for you.
You know what? Not to spend too much time on this, but you know what this kind of reminds me of with Nick Millard. We talked about his leg and him being able to like kick the ball 85 yards. I'm like, bro, he's a punter. How bad is he at everything else that involves being a punter if all he has to do is boot the ball down inside the 10?
Like, what if he's out there dropping the ball on every snap, and it's like, man, if he could just catch, like he's been on the jugs for 2 years, man, and just can't field a snap.
Bro, it reminds me. So I have a little brother, and this fool would like super talented. I mean, my little brother's usually like 6'4". He's bigger than me. He's playing varsity football since like freshman year, and he will always come home and be like, oh man, I had this amazing catch in practice, blah, blah, blah. Then to come game time, he never plays. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing the rest of practice? Like,
he wasn't doing nothing. He's lying.
What happens when you're not making these amazing catches? You must be horrible at every other aspect of the game.
That's too funny, man. I'm going to have to, Q, I feel like, I don't like to say this, I think your brother was lying to you. I don't think he was making spectacular catches at practice.
I'm sure he made one good play and 15 bad plays, and that's why he didn't play. I'm sure
one crazy catch and then 15 drops.
Because he's on the team, so he can't be terrible. He's got to do something that would coach be like, if I could just get more out of that of him, I'll keep him around. But yeah, that other 15 plays, buddy. Yeah, get used to the pine.
Q, you had a few extra notes from the interviews that you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, so talked about Jacquez Carter. His name was mentioned. That was on one of my underrated guys going into the season. He was mentioned, and Jason Moore was not. So, Ryan, I'll ask you a quick question, and we can move on. Is this...
He's in a walking boot. That's why Jason Moore is not being mentioned.
Okay. So you have injury. I'm like, what is going on with Jason Moore was my question. But
allegedly.
Allegedly. Yeah, especially around the Woody. How excited are you that Jacquez Carter seems like, when we had all these depth issues and people were talking about he went to practice, you said the guys look good. One of these freshmen, even though he missed out on 100, is now stepping up and is going to play against Texas.
Again, right next to the stack of Brandon Ennis apology forms, you can grab your Larry Johnson apology forms right next to it, submit them to my DMs, and I will read them on the show. That's what it makes me think, Q. All of this criticism about recruiting, Larry Johnson, the future of this room, we hear about potential freshmen playing at defensive end, defensive tackle. So how bad was it?
Yeah, I guess we'll see on Saturday. If Texas steamrolls the defensive line, it's like, yeah, shit. But until that happens,
I'll throw Larry right under the bus. Like, yo, how do we have any depth?
Like the road painter just smoothing out the road, and Texas guy just flying behind it. Then yeah, I think we were right. But until then, Larry has the benefit of the doubt. But
there's no point in being overly critical about hypotheticals when you just wait till the game's played. Like everybody's like, why haven't you've been pumping sunshine? You've gone soft. I'm like, ball got to get played soon. Like, there's no point of me getting mad over hypotheticals or screaming about recruiting. We'll see what happens once they kick the ball off, because we'll have plenty to talk about Monday, good or bad.
It's a man who loves hypotheticals. I'm disappointed in your decision, but continue.
Q over there with an entire hypothetical channel over there just dying inside because I'm talking about no more hypotheticals.
I always do that with my friends. They get so annoyed. It's just that what if you just keep pushing it until you get the answer you want.
You just keep escalating it until you back them into saying the one thing that they refused to say initially.
but I digress. You got a note on Julian Sayin?
Yeah, Ryan Day compared his athleticism to CJ Stroud, and I would imagine that raised a lot of people's eyebrows. But one of the things that I text Cam when I was at practice was he can scoot. When he moves, he is moving. Like, it's not like he's not Lamar Jackson, obviously, but it's not like that I needed to clarify, right? Because when I said he could scoot, everybody's mind immediately went to, is Julian Sayin Lamar Jackson? I had to clarify, Q, because I knew that's where everybody's mind went.
That's my one beat thing that I hate the most. Well, he's not Braxton Miller. Who the fuck is, bro? He's been for 30 years. It's not Lamar Jackson, really? You don't say.
Where else you getting insight like this, Q? Breaking news. Change the thumbnail right now. Julian Sayin, not Lamar Jackson. I feel like the amount of people that click on it will be like, what are they even talking about?
Bro, he's Lamar, but with higher end top speed. Recruiting note.
Bro, he's Lamar Jackson, but fast. No, but he's not Lamar Jackson, Q, but he can absolutely he can scoot. I like, we watched, if you put Devin Brown, Will Howard, Julian Sayin in a foot race, I'm betting on Julian Sayin. I've watched all three of those guys scramble in person. Julian just has a little bit more short area quickness. I mean, Will Howard's 6'5", so obviously once he gets running downhill, he starts striding. So, and even last year, he started tripping over his own feet. He'd go out there with two less shoes on sometimes. Like, what happened to the guy that was running at Kansas State? But Julian, I definitely think that while Lincoln obviously is a different type of athlete when you're talking about running at the quarterback position, I don't think that we're going to be dealing with the Kyle McCord, Devin Brown statue type issues. I think Julian definitely has an escapability that's going to benefit the Buckeyes. And what it's going to come down to is once he starts to escape, what type of decisions does he make? And I feel like one of the most underrated things about Will Howard and what he provided to the offense last year was his ability to throw the ball away. There were times when Honda would get out of the pocket and you just knew disaster was coming. Like, you could watch mid-play like, oh, some bullshit's about to happen. I'm interested to see when Julian has to start moving his feet, what type of decisions does he make? Is he able to run like we saw CJ do in the Georgia game and get necessary yardage and take advantage of teams daring him to pass the ball and just dropping a ton of people in coverage and daring him to actually run the ball? Does he take advantage of that? Or is he a guy that gets skittish once his feet start moving, and does he throw into coverage? A lot of things that I'll be watching, mainly when Julian is under pressure. I'm excited to see, but I do think he does have the athleticism to escape pass rushers this season.
Well, that is good news, and you touched on an amazing point. Like, it's good to get those necessarily yards, but are you holding the ball too long? You're doing too much, because I hate to let Julian Sayin no, but they got a couple guys by the name of Anthony Hill and Colin Simmons, and if you hold that ball too long, you might be 2 feet in the dirt.
Honestly,
before you know it.
Q, a question for you.
Okay.
I would imagine both fan bases, and I feel like Ohio State fans are probably more concerned than Texas fans, while Texas fans should probably be more concerned. I don't want to see Julian get hit at all on Saturday, while I feel like Texas fans are comfortable with Arch running. And just because my most viral tweet of 2025 was a tweet about Ohio State's defense saying, we got a bunch of crash outs out there. If Arch Manning makes it into the open field, someone is going to try to bring back the jacked up segment on ESPN. They're going to try to hit him so hard. I don't think they're going to be trying to keep Julian so clean this game. I don't think he's going to be taking any unnecessary hits. Who should be more concerned about their quarterback being tackled on Saturday?
Well, I mean, it's definitely Arch. I mean, you look at Arch's athleticism, and as I haven't seen Julian yet scramble as much as you have because you were at practice. But I feel like we've seen Arch run. I think the nation has seen that. You realize he has some wheels. Does he do a little too much? Because I'm with you. I don't want to get hit by Sonny Styles. We see what he did to the tight end. Certainly don't want to get hit by Arvell Reese or any of the defensive tackles because those guys are 300 pounds. So that would be a guy I'd be like, okay, we get it. You're gonna run, but like I think they're in the same boat. We don't want to get Arch hurt because there goes the season. Just like we're with Julian, like we don't want you to get tackled because we need you going forward. So I think Texas should be a little more worried about Arch getting hit because I feel like Arch is more willing to take those hits and try to take a little more risk.
We had a clip from the show do some numbers the other day talking about not recognizing Ryan Day and this new confidence that he has. Has nothing to do with his beard, but just the general confidence that he has in these press conferences. And he spoke today and said this team has an edge. It already feels like Ryan Day has an edge. It seems like this team, we talked about them having crash outs on defense. You hear Ryan Day keep talking about leadership. In years past, he's constantly asking for someone to step up and be a leader, and now he's just volunteering names. What does a confident Ryan Day with an edgy team look like?
As long as we have competent coordinators, I mean, it's very dangerous. I think.
Do you think we've ever seen it before?
No, I feel like the best we had got before, I guess, last season's run with Ryan Day was when he was back to his wall and he had nothing to lose. A confident Ryan Day was.
Wait. Come on. I thought you were going to walk right into it. 2019? You're not going to give him credit for that? I mean, you got Chase Young. Yeah. You sent 2 people to New York. I mean, I feel like that is the closest that we've seen as far as an edgy team. And I don't know if they were necessarily edgy as they were talented. I mean,
yeah, but I also feel like that team a lot had Urban's culture with maybe a little bit of a better mind guiding them. It was like, you had the Spartan, get everybody ready to go. And then you had to do from Athens, like, okay, I'm the actual strategy guy. Like, I'll let you get this, and we'll do it efficiently instead of just running through a fucking brick wall. So I feel like, yes, that team had a lot of edge. And then when you looked at that season, you were like, oh, shit, Ryan Day's here for real. And then we got more into the Ryan Day team. You're like, I don't know what a Ryan team. It could have been the personnel, but you're like, I don't know what a Ryan Day team looks like, and that's where the soft narrative comes from. I think the Georgia game was the one where he was back to a wall. He had nothing to lose at that point. He said, F it. Like, everybody's going to lose anyway. We're coming in here. We know we're talented. Let's just go out and play ball. And I think until the playoff run last season, that's what everybody used to talk about, the fucking Georgia Ryan Day. But that was the most confident we've seen him. Once we went on that playoff streak, which again
blows my mind that for the longest time, pre this national championship run, the reference point for everybody's favorite version of our coach was from a loss.
We've talked about it, but you felt like we had nothing to lose going in. But we took the best shot at Ohio State. We finally got to see the team of like when this team is hitting on all cylinders. And yes, we made some mistakes in that game, and yes, we felt like we got robbed. But you felt like when that team hit
mistakes, fuck the mistakes. We missed a field goal. They kicked it into the parking lot. They pulled a Nick McLarty.
Well, shit. I mean, that has never changed. I hate to tell you, Ron. NIL, the special teams aren't really much of a change from years ago. But yeah, I mean, I feel like this could be a new version, or it'll probably be something of an advanced version of that. That's what we're going to see. That's a confident Ryan Day. And I feel like as long as the coordinators are right, you're looking at a team that can legitimately not be stopped on their way back to back.
Ryan Day had a singular message in his press conference today.
can to win the game, and it's to win the game. Now, in order to win the game, like we have to win the game. Go win the game, to win the game, win the game, win the game. So what do we need to do to win the game?
Our guy Chuck put together that compilation of Ryan Day because the message is clear. He said it earlier in the week, quoted Al Davis, just win, baby. They asked him what he told Julian Sayin, and that was his response. And I have not seen Ryan Day this confident and so singular focused on just winning this game. It feels like Ryan Day has the potential for a statement game for the entire landscape of college football against Texas on Saturday. Am I being hyperbolic in that statement?
No, I think this is a big time opportunity. We talked about last year. I think last year we did it with coaches in their first games at new major conferences, and we're like, this is a really good chance to change your trajectory. Ryan Day is now at the mountaintop. Now, while he needs to go get a Big Ten and Michigan win, I think he's firmly trying to submit his spot at the top of that mountain and hold everyone else off. And I think if he comes out and this team looks like the team we think they will, and they beat Texas by 10, 13, and they really make a statement here with the number one team in the nation, everybody's going to look around and it's like, well, Georgia's projected 3 losses. Like, you look down this top 10, we've already beat Notre Dame. You feel like we could do it again. Like, is there anyone who can actually stop this team? And the momentum starts rolling, and that obviously feeds into off the field. Maybe you get more booster money. Maybe you start spending more in NIL. Like success on the field always breeds to other things. So if Ryan Day and this team can continue to hold it down, especially Texas coming in, people come in and win in Ohio. It doesn't happen often. If they can actually hold it down and they don't have to blow them out, but just make a statement and say this team is here for another year and we're confident we can beat anybody, I think Ryan Day and this team, I don't think there's anything really stopping them from holding their position at the top of college football.
See, that's not the position I was talking about. Not the best team in college football this season. I'm talking about, I feel like there is a vacancy for the premier program in the sport right now that Nick Saban left when he left Alabama. And I feel like Ryan Day has an opportunity to say, hey, I'm coming for that potential title. If he goes out and after having that spectacular run and then follows it up with the amount of production that they lost last season, and they come out and make a statement that, hey, this isn't a program, this is an organization, and we're doing things different around here, is Ryan Day. I feel like Ryan Day has the potential to make a statement here of, hey, I want to lay claim to this being my sport. I feel like the game is open to a coach completely taking over this sport. And you talked about the slight regression at Georgia. You see them take a slight step back last year. It takes so much consistency to do what Nick Saban just did at Alabama. And is Ryan Day able to replicate something that we saw at others, only one other coach ever do, and have a dynastic run in our lifetime? Could Ryan Day potentially scare the sport by coming out here and making a statement of, hey, want to see me do it again?
Yeah, I mean, I want to get your input on this. I think the other stuff that we talk about at Ohio State, eventually we'll have to catch up how well these guys are playing on the field. We understand the product on the field is amazing. Now, can you do it with your staff retention? Obviously, we've seen them make good hires. We'll see if Brian Hartline, that's a big piece to see if Ryan Day can stay at the top. If Brian Hartline is a success and he is a good offensive coordinator, he's not going anywhere for a good bit, especially with the line of receivers he has coming in. Now, can you partner that into Ohio State should be nowhere near 10 in recruiting? Can you go out there and say, hey, we're doing it on the field. We need you to back us so we can stay here and more money is going to come into the program. That has to carry up. So these other levels of this program that we talk about and we complain about have to, because you think about with Nick Saban, everything when Nick Saban was on his run was at the top. They were always top 2 in recruiting. They were always top 2 in hires. They were always top 2 in innovation and getting their program to the top. You saw them go get some guys from Purdue, and you're like, what? Or no, it was Purdue. It was Indiana. You're like, what the hell are you doing? And these dudes are changing how you train in college football. You got a dude who's literally the name of his position was Speed Doctor. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like just innovative stuff. You feel like at Ohio State, we're not quite there on the operations lane, especially you hear Mark Pantoni come out and say, these guys are recruiting their asses off and we can't get guys in the door because we're not even competitive. So you feel like that stuff has to catch production on the field eventually for Ohio State to maintain at the mountaintop like Alabama did.
But it all starts on the field, and the Buckeyes have an opportunity to make a statement here Saturday, and it's going to be exciting to see the overall reaction, regardless of the outcome of this game, from the national landscape. I feel like the Buckeyes have been riding a high since the national championship of no one can talk shit to us outside of Michigan fans. And if we come out and stumble out the gates, man, it's going to be a fallback to reality, and it's not going to be fun out here in these college football streets, Q.
Well, Ron, that's why we podcast every day. Rain, sleet, or snow. We are in here to cover the highs and lows of Ohio State football. Hopefully less lows than highs.
Yeah, no rain, sleet, or snow for you, but dust storms and fucking griddle asphalt.
And no power. So yeah, no Ron, power's out.
Oh, man, you're down there in the Dust Bowl. Q, let the people know where they could find you in that horrific weather that you decided to go live in.
Yeah, well, if you want to send any umbrellas to help me bear, the lack of sunshine that we have for 1 hour in the last 3 months, you can do that at City Boy Quentin on Twitter. I'm Flying at Johnson on Instagram, but here at Dead Air Sports Monday to Friday. Do not forget, we are live Friday. So if you want to do come here, hang out with us, and come hang out with some other shows and do the live show thing, we are here every Friday live. But I'm here with my guy Ron Monday to Friday. Make sure you hit that like button on Dead Air Sports. If you're on Twitter, like and retweet the video, share it. We help you and bring some people over here, man. We're a little lonely right now. We're getting over 50 likes. We need more people in here. So make sure you do that. Ron, where can they find you at?
They can find me right here on Dead Air Sports Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. right here with my guy Smash That Like. Talking all things Buckeyes over here on the Buckeye Roast. We appreciate everybody for tuning in, everyone that's been leaving comments, everyone that's helping us run these likes up. If you like what you're seeing, tell a friend. Let people know that we're out here doing this. We're trying to grow this podcast. We've moved channels. We appreciate everyone that has found their way over here on Dead Air Sports. Keep telling people, keep sharing it. We appreciate all the help over here. If you want to also find me, you can find me on Twitter at 2Ts. It's 2_TEES. We got a special guest tomorrow, so be sure to tune in for that. And it's not the normal one. It's a regular guest, but it's not the normal special guest. So if you're already guessing who it's going to be in the comments, I bet you're wrong. You got to tune in on Thursday to see who it is. We got an action-packed preview of the game, so be sure to tune in to that on Thursday. Yeah, I just wake up and work. I'm working on, I'm doing my real job on the weekends. I'm doing this job 24/7. It just doesn't stop. I just wake up, I open all my laptops, and I just start working. There are no days off anymore.
Handle my career on the weekends and my podcast on the week.
I tell people all the time, like, my weekends are infinitely more insane than my actual work weeks for my career. So we appreciate everybody tuning in. Make sure you check us out in the Bleacher Report app. We have micro content going out in there Mondays and Thursdays. We have instant reactions immediately after the Ohio State games, including Texas week 1. So be sure to find me and Chris Drew for an instant reaction to the game in the Bleacher Report app. Subscribe, smash that like button. Q, you know how this thing ends. It's always go Bucks. And of course, OH.
Ayo.
Example, when things get hard in life, you just keep swinging as hard as you can in your fight. That's our culture.
I promised you we had a plan. Remember that we talked about a plan? The plan was infallible. Part of that infallible plan is getting a team prepared, ready to go, so we start practice. Our coaches know what we got. And there's not one person in America I trusted more than Coach Mick and that staff. Think about this. 130 teams either today they report or they've already reported. 130. 16 weeks from now, there's going to be one champion. One champion in our conference, one champion on the side of our conference. And in the country, one team's going to do this. Not 36, not 48, not 44. One. That tells you how hard it is to be a champion. team that's going to go get it. You're the Ohio State Buckeyes. You're an angry football team. You got an angry staff. You got a bunch of guys that are getting ready to start a journey. We're starting that journey tomorrow.